They didn't just fire her. They erased her. One moment, Angel Reese was the electric pulse of women's basketball, the Bayou Barbie, the headline magnet who made college hoops feel like primetime TV. And the next? Gone. Vanished from Unrivaled's roster like she'd never existed. No post, no announcement, no farewell. Just silence. But here's the thing about silence. It always means someone's hiding something. Angel Reese wasn't supposed to disappear. She was supposed to define this league. The Unrivaled League, that shiny, player-founded revolution co-led by Breanna Stewart and Napheesa Collier, was meant to liberate players like her. A league for players, by players, where the next generation could finally own their voices, their image, and their worth. But if this is what liberation looks like, then someone's lying. Behind the scenes, reports began surfacing of tension, whispers that Reese had been difficult, that she was challenging leadership. But let's be real. Whenever a powerful woman asks questions, they call it attitude. Whenever a man does it, they call it leadership. They didn't fire Angel Reese because she failed. They fired her because she refused to fail quietly. And what makes this story explosive is that it's not just about one player. It's about every athlete who dares to demand more than applause, who dares to demand ownership. This could reshape the balance of power in women's basketball. Because if Unrivaled, the supposed safe haven for empowerment, just silenced its loudest, boldest star, then every player's dream of freedom just got a reality check. If you're here for the truth, for the politics, the betrayal, the receipts, hit that like button because we're going deeper, and trust me, it's about to get messy. Angel Reese didn't walk into Unrivaled as some rookie trying to prove herself. She walked in as a cultural force, a 22-year-old phenom who brought swagger back to the sport. She'd already conquered college basketball, pulled record-breaking NIL deals, and sparked a national debate about confidence, femininity, and race, all while smiling in lashes and designer heels. She wasn't just a player, she was a brand. Unrivaled knew that. They built hype around players like her. She was supposed to be the centerpiece of their marketing, the crossover star who could bridge TikTok fandom and ESPN credibility. She embodied everything this league pretended to stand for: individuality, energy, and control over your own narrative. But that's where things went left. Because sources say Angel started asking the kind of questions no one likes to answer. Questions about pay structure, sponsorship revenue, creative rights. Word is she wanted to bring her own endorsement deals into the Unrivaled ecosystem, deals that didn't funnel through the league's central office. Smart? Absolutely. But to the execs, that wasn't empowerment, that was rebellion. One insider told The Athletic, quote, "Angel was trying to be bigger than the brand, and they don't like that." Think about that for a second. A player-founded league firing a player for being too independent. You can't make this up. Fans started noticing the red flags fast. First, she was missing from promotional photos. Then, her name was absent from the official roster. By the time social media caught on, it was too late. Unrivaled had already scrubbed her presence. "Where's Angel?" one fan wrote. "You can't call it Unrivaled if you're erasing the rivalry." They were right. Unrivaled was supposed to challenge the establishment. Instead, it started becoming the establishment. And if you think this is just ego or image drama, buckle up. Because in the next chapter, we get into the real reason Angel Reese was shown the door. And it has everything to do with money, power, and control. Here's where everything changed. Behind the glossy press releases and the "we're family" talk, Angel started seeing cracks. She allegedly asked league execs for financial transparency. Simple questions like, how's the sponsorship money being distributed? Why do some players get promoted and others don't? Who's making these brand decisions? Those questions hit nerves. According to one anonymous staffer, after that meeting, Angel went from the face of the league to a PR problem. Her appearances were delayed, her media days got canceled, emails went unanswered. By the time her agent reached out, the response was cold. We're moving in a different direction. Translation? They didn't like the questions. They didn't like the heat. So they iced her out. And it's ironic, isn't it? Unrivaled built its entire brand on transparency and fairness. They said, we're not like the big leagues, we listen to players. But when Angel spoke up, they shut the door. The craziest part? This isn't new. Every time a young, outspoken woman challenges power structures, whether it's in sports, music, or media, they call her ungrateful. But really, she's just uncontrolled. And that's what terrifies them. Angel Reese isn't just talented, she's free thinking. She's not waiting for permission to shine. And when that light gets too bright for the system does what it always does. It tries to dim it. But Angel's not built for dimming. Then came the leak. An internal email, allegedly from one of Unrivaled's top executives, leaked online. It described Angel as a potential risk for brand partnerships and suggested the league needed tone management for player representation. Tone management. Let that sink in. In plain English, she's too outspoken, too confident, too black, too herself. The email spread like wildfire. #StandWithAngel started trending. Fans flooded Unrivaled socials with backlash, demanding answers. Clips of Angel's LSU triumphs, her flex, her crown pose, her fire, flooded the timeline again, now rebranded as protest art. They tried to label her a problem. The internet turned her into a movement. Suddenly, Unrivaled wasn't the hero league anymore. It was the villain. A symbol of what happens when corporate empowerment meets real, unapologetic individuality. And that's the thing about Angel Reese. She is culture. She's the remix of femininity and ferocity that makes basketball magnetic. But to brand strategists sitting in glass offices, she's a risk because they can't control her authenticity. Meanwhile, Angel posted just 3 words on X. Still that doll. And just like that, she reclaimed the narrative. No tears, no press release, no begging. Just confidence, louder than any firing. The shockwave hit instantly. The moment fans realized Angel Reese's name was missing from the Unrivaled League's roster, the timeline exploded. Within hours, hashtags trended, players side-eyed the move, and journalists started calling it what it was, a betrayal. The same league that promised to protect players from exploitation just exiled the most recognizable young star in the game. The same league that bragged about empowering women just reminded everyone who actually holds the power. And here's where the fallout turns ugly. Behind the scenes, sponsors are panicking. 2 brands reportedly put their marketing campaigns on hold, waiting for the league to clarify the situation, because no company wants to be associated with a player-led revolution that suddenly looks corporate and cold. The word hypocrisy is now floating around boardrooms that used to celebrate Unrivaled as the future of sports. But for Angel, the silence says everything. She hasn't posted a long rant. She hasn't done an interview. She's moving like a chess player, calm, deliberate, watching them expose themselves. And the fans are watching too. You don't erase the Bayou Barbie and think nobody notices. Unrivaled just rivaled itself. They wanted control, not change. These are the comments flooding their socials. Every deleted post, every deflection, every no comment just adds fuel to the fire. Because here's the truth. Angel Reese is more than an athlete. She's a symbol, a cultural lightning rod. She represents the generation of women who don't ask permission to be loud, to be flashy, to be seen. And when you try to bury that energy, it multiplies. Let's be real. Unrivaled miscalculated. They thought removing her would make the controversy go away. Instead, it made them look scared. See, Angel built her reputation on defiance. When people called her arrogant, she doubled down with confidence. When they mocked her for celebrating, she celebrated harder. That's her power. The more they hate, the more she glows. Now that same defiance is turning into momentum. She's getting more press after being fired than she did before. ESPN clips, YouTube breakdowns, podcasts dissecting every quote. Angel Reese is once again the conversation. And that's the thing about controversy. If you own it, it becomes currency. Meanwhile, whispers in the WNBA circles say some players are quietly backing her. One veteran told a reporter off record, "Angel's doing what most of us wish we could do. Call them out." Another said, "She's not unprofessional, she's just unwilling to play their game." Even retired legends are hinting their support online. A few posted cryptic emojis, crowns, nails, flames. Subtle, but loud enough, because everyone knows what this moment means. This isn't about a player and a league. This is about control and resistance. Unrivaled's leadership is scrambling to contain the story. They're reportedly holding internal communications meetings about narrative management. But how do you control a narrative that's already escaped you? Every time Angel posts a picture, smiling, dressed up, unbothered, it feels like a statement. Every photo captioned "blessed" or "focus" hits harder than any press release. She's not defending herself. She's letting the league's silence become their confession. But the fallout doesn't end here. It's only beginning. Because while Unrivaled is losing control of their message, Angel is gaining control of her myth. There are whispers that she's already being approached by independent producers and sports media networks. Rumors of a docuseries, talks of her launching her own training brand or even a player-driven media collective. And that's what scares the most. Angel Reese doesn't need their league. She is the league. She represents everything they wanted to market: youth, rebellion, authenticity, but couldn't contain. And that's what's poetic about this whole thing. They tried to remove the face of the culture and ended up removing their credibility. Fans know it, sponsors know it, and deep down, the players know it too. Unrivaled may still exist on paper, but without Angel Reese, it's just another league with a fancy logo. The real power is shifting. It's moving toward players who realize they don't need permission to build something new. Angel Reese isn't canceled. She's canonized. And by the time this storm clears, Unrivaled might realize the one they fired was the one who made them matter in the first place. So, what now? What does a player like Angel Reese, young, polarizing, unstoppable, do after the system tries to erase her? Simple. She evolves. Right now, two paths stretch before her. One, play quiet, rebuild reputation, let time do the healing. Or two, burn the old playbook and write her own. And if you followed Angel Reese for even 5 minutes, you already know which one she's choosing. Because Angel's story has never been about fitting in. It's about forcing the world to make room. The Unrivaled fallout isn't the end of her chapter. It's the beginning of a bigger one. She's become a symbol for every athlete who's been told, be grateful, not greedy. Smile, but don't speak. Play, but don't lead. Angel's entire career has been a rebellion against that script. From LSU's championship moment, when she dared to talk her talk in front of millions, to now, she's carried herself like someone who knows her value even when others don't. That confidence, that's power. And power like that doesn't disappear, it multiplies. Industry insiders say she's already getting calls from brands who want to align with her authenticity. Streaming networks want her side of the story. Sports podcasts are begging for interviews. And the fans? They're waiting, refreshing, defending, amplifying. But the bigger story here isn't Angel's next move. It's what this moment reveals about the system itself. Unrivaled sold the dream of equality, a place where women athletes could finally control their narrative. But when that control got too real, they folded. Because true empowerment isn't easy. It's messy, emotional, and unpredictable. It's not marketable slogans. It's uncomfortable truth. And Angel Reese embodies that truth. Let's be honest. Sports media has always been uneasy around women who own their presence. When Serena roared, they said too emotional. When Naomi stepped back, they said too weak. Now, Angel Reese says, I deserve control, and they say too difficult. But maybe too much is exactly what we need. Because every generation needs that one player who breaks the glass, who takes the criticism, the memes, the think pieces, so the next one doesn't have to. Angel Reese might be that player. And this time, she's not fighting alone. Fans, influencers, creators are turning this moment into a movement. Hashtag let her speak. Hashtag Reese effect. Hashtag unrivaled no more. What started as a controversy has evolved into a cultural awakening. It's forcing people to ask, who really owns women's sports? Is it the corporations writing the checks or the players who are the product? The old model says players need leagues to shine. The new era, the Reese era, says leagues need players who dare to shine. Because in a digital world, the athlete is the brand. The camera follows them, not the logo. If Unrivaled thought they could erase Angel Reese, they forgot. She's not written in ink. She's written in algorithm. Every clip of her flexing, every tweet, every fan edit, every quote turned into a TikTok sound. That's immortality. That's impact. And here's what makes this even deeper. Angel's silence isn't retreat. It's strategy. She's letting the story breathe, letting the league show its hypocrisy. Then, when she speaks, it'll hit like thunder. Imagine that comeback, a sit-down docuseries titled Unrivaled Truth, a new apparel line, Reese Mode, a YouTube channel where she tells her own story, unfiltered, uncensored. The power shift will be complete. Because this generation doesn't need gatekeepers anymore. They build their own gates and charge admission. So what does this mean for women's basketball? It means players are done being grateful for scraps. They're demanding ownership, voice, and vision. It means the new stars aren't waiting for validation. They're creating their own platforms. And that's what Unrivaled never understood. You can't silence a movement when it's already gone viral. You can't erase a name that's tattooed on the culture. Angel Reese doesn't need to win another championship to prove her worth. Her worth was proven the moment they tried to take her mic and she made her own stage. This isn't a downfall story. It's a transformation story. Because every empire needs a rebel to expose the cracks. Angel is that rebel. And whether the league likes it or not, her influence will echo far beyond the court. She's not just rewriting the rules, she's rewriting the tone. So, what do you think? Did Unrivaled protect its brand or betray its soul? Drop your take in the comments, because this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about truth versus control, legacy versus obedience. And every time they try to silence greatness, it gets louder. They thought they could erase the Bayou Barbie. Instead, they created a legend.